and another video from Dave.
What's up, YouTube? This is Dave's Had Enough .7. This is another video to do with my take on the upcoming Stephen King's It reboot, set for 2017. And another video from Dave. And yeah, pretty much this video I've been wanting to make a while, just haven't gotten around to it till now. I have talked about the upcoming Stephen King's It remake on some of my live streams. I'm very excited for this remake. I love the old miniseries It from the from 1990. It was fantastic. One of my favorite miniseries movies of all time. You know, it goes along with, for me, The Exorcist, which is another one of my favorite, and Scarface, which I love. Love all three of them. Great movies, well made. But recent news, they are going to be rebooting Stephen King. I have heard about this for a while. There's been talk about this for a good while. You know, a lot of people wanted them to reboot this because a lot of people felt that the miniseries from 1990, you know, about, I'd say, a good proportion of it was not, you know, fulfilled when you compare it to the movie. They say most of the book was left out in that miniseries, even though that miniseries was about 4 hours long. It was 2 parts. And they left out a good proportion of it. So in this upcoming remake of it, a lot of people are hoping, and from what you gather, if you look into the whole remake, we're seeing it's going to be more like the book than the miniseries, which in my eyes, there was nothing wrong with that miniseries, because that miniseries, to me and to a lot of people that I talked to, you know, over the years, that is one reason why I'm not me anymore with clowns, but when I was younger, I was scared of clowns because of that movie. If you ask most people, you know, why were you scared of clowns? You know, they're going to either say, oh, I'm just scared of clowns, A, because they're creepy looking, because it is true, even though they're smiling and everything, they're still creepy, and or B, they're going to say, Stephen King's It with Pennywise, with Tim Curry. He did an amazing job. I mean, this is the new It, if you haven't seen him yet. It's a very, I would say he has a very vintage look, like kind of like Shakespeare. But they say, a lot of people say, if you get past all the bullshit, because there's a lot of people that are upset that this is what it looks like, mixed reviews, and we knew that was going to happen. I mean, they're going from this is the new one, and then we're coming from this. I mean, that was a creepy fucking clown back in the day. This was Tim Curry. I think Bill Skarsgård, who's going to be playing the new It, he has some pretty big shoes to fill. Anybody taking on that role, other than Tim Curry, the man that played in the original novel, you have some pretty big shoes to fill. I mean, if you look at the old It, how his facial expressions were, his cheekbones, this guy looked like a fucking clown without the makeup, you know, and he played this role to a T. That's what made the novel, or the miniseries, so good, you know, even though they had a good proportion of it taken, you know, out from the book, you know, I mean, no, good proportion left out from the book, my bad. And I love the miniseries. It aired in 1990. It was on ABC, I believe. And it was a made-for-TV movie, you know, and it was actually really fucking creepy. I mean, after you watch that, you were looking in fucking storm drains to see if there's some fucking clown that just pops up out of nowhere. It was just a great story. You know, I know the book, everybody says it's one of Stephen King's best books. I'm reading it now, but I've had, you know, my brother that has read it and other friends that have read it have told me different parts of the book. And in the miniseries, they left out, supposedly to most people, one of the scariest parts, which they're actually going to put in this upcoming film, the house on Neibolt Street. You know, they're actually, if you look into some of the stuff that people have been capturing in their town where they were filming it, they actually recreated the house on Neibolt Street, and they said it's one of the creepiest parts in the book that was not in the miniseries. So I'm reading the book right now. I've been wanting to read the book for a long time. I picked it up on my tablet for $10, so I've been reading through it, and I can see from already I love the miniseries. One of my favorite movies of all time, miniseries, whatever. The book is a lot more detailed. It's a big book though. But from what I'm gathering, the upcoming movie, they're gonna have a lot more that was in the book, other than how they did it with the miniseries. So hopefully they will. When you see this, it'll be like seeing a fresh new movie. It won't be. You're gonna have some things from the novel. I mean, from the miniseries, but I think we're gonna see more of a take on the book. And it's supposed to have two parts released for it. Now, when the clown was revealed, like I said, you got a lot of mixed feelings about this clown. A lot of people just said he ain't scary, blah, 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 blah. The normal shit. Anytime they try to do something, there's so many fucking critics when it comes to video games, movies, music. Music sucks nowadays. I can agree with that. But everything is already shit on right from the get go. But I have to be fair, I'm a longtime fan of horror. Horror is my favorite genre when it comes to movies. I grew up on horror. My family growing up, that was one of the big things when it came to movies was horror movies. My mom showed me and my brother and my dad, uh, horror movie after horror movie. I've seen so many damn horror movies, it's not even funny, and movies in general. I'm a big movie person, big movie buff. But one thing when I was younger, I saw this one. Well, this original one with Tim Curry. I saw in 1990 when it premiered. I believe it was on ABC. Scared the living daylights out of me. Had me scared, of clowns. Not in general, but just that. That was just, just it wasn't like any clown, but like something that looked similar to him. And he was like an ordinary clown. That was the crazy thing. He was just fucking creepy, even when he was just smiling. And it was funny. I saw that when I was younger, it freaked me out. Same thing with The Exorcist. We were at the library, and my dad, I remember him talking about, The Exorcist. And I seen it one day at the library when I was 6, and I was like, "Oh, I want to get it, I want to get it." My mom's like, "No, no, we're not gonna get that," and he ended up getting it for me. I watched it up to the part where she's in the hospital, and I turned fucking white. And then the next day I watched the rest of it, but that movie scared the living daylights out of me too. But those were the only two horror movies that really creeped me out. The only thing that ever really creeped me out was another one from Stephen King, just like basically one part of the movie I found really creepy was Zelda in Pet Cemetery, her sister. That is fucking creepy. But nowadays, you just have a lot of special effects and no acting. This guy was an actor. Tim Curry acted in this movie, and that's what made the movie. Same thing with the rest of the people that played the Losers Club. Bill, Eddie, what's the other guy's name? Bill, Eddie, Richie, the rest of them. It was one, the special thing about it was about a group of losers, they all come from different backgrounds and they all got together to fight it. And then later on, it comes back and they all move on, leave the town dairy, become one of them becomes an actor, the other one becomes a story writer because when he's growing up he always told them stories. He was really good at telling creepy stories. And they all get a call from Mike that stayed in the town. He stayed as the town librarian, and he says it's back because all the killings start up again. Because basically, I believe it's like I could be wrong, but it's every 20 years or something like that. Every so many years, it comes back. He goes into like hibernation, and then he comes back and starts feeding on kids, and he'll pretty much be whatever their imaginary, basically whatever they're scared of or something. Like in the movie, in the mini series, I believe it was Richie. He was in the boiler room of the school and he was scared of werewolves, so it took the shape of basically a werewolf and scared him. But then he's always usually the clown. But basically it's an interesting movie because he basically says that he can get in their imagination when they're younger, but when they get older, their imagination is different from being a kid, and he has more control over them as a kid, and they can see him. What does he say? He says, "You can only see me from what your little minds will allow." When they get older, and he kind of fades out later on. But when they leave the town, they forget about him. But Mike stayed in the town, like I said, so he calls him back up, and that was on the second part of the miniseries where they go back and fight him. If you've never seen the miniseries, it is a fantastic movie, and miniseries. I just call it's a movie to me. But some people, with any book, some people have read the books is so great to them, they don't even want to bother watching the miniseries because they don't want to ruin anything they thought up the clown looked like or those people. And that goes along with a lot of books. Some people will not watch movies that have been made on books because they don't want to ruin it. In their mind, they already have it set out to what everything looks like. But hopefully, this movie, from what I'm gathering, will be more based on the book, so we get a different take of it. And I think everybody just needs to give it a chance. That's just my point on the whole thing. Give it a chance. I mean, of course, we knew when we saw the clown, we weren't gonna be, probably we weren't going to be happy with it because it's a lot, it's hard shoes to fill. Tim Curry, hard shoes to fill, but this dude's a pretty good actor. I've seen him in Hemlock Grove. Bill Skarsgård did a great job in there. I have faith in him. I don't think it's that bad. I think it'll be different when we first see a trailer or something. I don't even really want to see the trailer, to be honest with you, because it ruins movies. Trailers in general, I'm just trying to stay away from, but this one will be hard to stay away from when they actually show it. But trailers in general, when it comes to horror movies or any movies, which I'm going to do a whole other video about, ruin things. They show too much in the trailer. But I know when I see the trailer, I'll have enough good indication if this is going to be good or not. I'm seeing it no matter what. I am a huge fan of it. And finally, like I said, reading the book, it's such a long book. That's the only reason I didn't read it. But I've read a lot of Stephen King before. I've heard a lot about this book from like my brother and friends. But I love the miniseries. Like I said, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I have faith in it. I don't think he looks that bad. Of course, I don't think he looks as great as Tim Curry. I don't think any kind of take on it other than when it comes to the clown with what they did with Tim Curry and who they picked to play it. Nobody's gonna fill his shoes. He's just amazing, played an amazing part. He will be ever for known, as Pennywise. He just and the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but he did a fantastic job on Pennywise. But I got another shot of the clown. I don't know if you can see it too well, but basically he has a very like vintage look, like I said earlier. It's like he's in like a dress or something. But if you read, there's parts in the book. I forgot what part I'm reading right now. You actually hear a part where they don't know if the clown was a male or a female. So you have to. The book is, like I said, different than the mini series, but I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's bad. I knew they were gonna, most people weren't gonna be happy with it. You have a lot of mixed feelings. I have faith in this movie. Like I said, I've been looking at a lot of the people have been taking videos of the set where they've been filming it. You see a lot of stuff from the book. That's what's interesting. Like the house on Neibolt Street, one of the best parts in the book, people claim that they left out of the miniseries. Like I said earlier, most people, when it comes to miniseries, that seen it and read the book, they said they left out so much of the book, it's insane. But the book, even though the miniseries is 4 hours long, which I'm assuming this will be with the two movies, it's going to be 2 hours, probably one movie or longer, and 2 hours another one or longer. It might be a real, if they're going to do more in the book, it might be real long because the book's like, it's one of his biggest books. I believe The Stand is his biggest book. But this ain't short by any means, even though The Stand's bigger. Stephen King's It is not short by any means. And hopefully by the time September 2017, September 7th, 2017 rolls around, I will have read the book, and then I can get a good judgment on all of them and see which one's better, If it, because most likely with everything, the book is always better. We all know that. If you read the book and seen a movie, a majority of the time you're going to like the book because there's more, they can tell more in a book, than what they can put in like a 2 hour movie. But when it comes to it, they make it, the first one was 4 hours, I believe. It was two parts, just like this is going to be two parts. And, I think it's going to turn out good because there's a lot of fans of Stephen King and people love it. And I think the first one's going to do well, even though if it, may not be a good movie, it's still going to sell tickets. And maybe if that bombs, they'll do better on the second one. I don't know. I think it'll be good. It's going to be a hard shoes to fill, but give him a chance. He's a good actor from what I've seen him in. But that's my take on it. I'm looking forward to it. I love it. Like I said, I will be covering more with it as time goes out, or time goes on. When they release a trailer, I'll give my thoughts on the trailer, and when they release the first movie, I'll give my review on that. Same thing if they do the second part, if the first one does well, which I'm assuming it will. But that's my take, guys. Tell me what you think about Stephen King's It in the comments section. Were you a fan? Did you read the book? Did you see the miniseries? What's your take on it and everything? Are you looking forward to the upcoming film? I know reboots don't normally do good, but give it a chance. Later, guys.